Hello everyone, my name is Nikhil Giri. I am a fresher at IIT Kharagpur and this is my submission for DIY project. It is a ball bounce game, and first let's see the code and then we'll see how the game works. So initially I am creating aliases such as if the start button is connected to pin number 13, then 13 is denoted by start, and similarly for all the 4 buttons and the buzzer I am using their pin value and giving them a name. Right, the number is given a name. I can write this instead of a number. Now since we are going to print on the LED screen, we are creating its position array. So this is the position array for paddle 1, and we are going, since it is going to occupy 2 spaces, we are splitting it into 2 halves, right? So this is 16, this is 8, this is 8. So this is the position array, this is the first half, this is the second half. Similarly for paddle 2, position array, first half, second half. Ball, position array, first half, second half, first half, second half. All right. Now we are going to use this integer to denote the position of the ball. This is whether the ball goes up or down. I have used an integer here. This is essentially collision detection variables. We'll discuss them later. Now here, this char is essentially used if the ball is going to go left or right. Here I have used a char instead of integer just for some change. Now score 1 and 2 are score keeping mechanism. Bowling game essentially stores if this button is pressed or not, and int a is an internal loop integer. Now for starting, we are declaring if a pin should expect an input or it should give an output. So all the pins connected with the push buttons are set to expect an input from the user, whereas the buzzer and the LEDs are used to show output, whether the game is finished or changes has been done in the game. For starting the game, we first print let's play ball bounce game on the screen, which you will see for 1.5 seconds. This is in milliseconds, and then we'll go into the game loop. Now up till the player presses this button, what we are going to do is, since the game hasn't started yet, both the paddles and the ball should be at the initial position unmoved. So we are putting them back if a game has just ended. So the paddles should go back in their original positions. The ball is going back at its original position, and we are giving instruction to the user to press the start button. Once the start button is pressed, we are printing some instructions that player 1 is going to be here, player 2 is going to be here, and a 3-second countdown after which the game starts. Once the game starts, the system expects input from these 4 buttons, since we have already given input from this, and we will keep on checking. So if the first button is pressed, then the paddle 1 should move up using this code. If the second button is pressed, then the paddle 1 should move down using this code. Third button will make paddle 2 go up using this code, and fourth button will make paddle 2 go down using this code. Now after we have changed the position array in the paddle, we also need to change the half of arrays. So here paddle player 1 will save the first half, player 1 will save the second half of paddle 1. Similarly, first half and second half of paddle 2, first half and second half of ball are saved. After that, for all these 6 half of objects, we will give them a integer, a byte value, right? And after printing the score, we can print them. So byte value 0 essentially is the name for the player 1's first half. So that is going to be printed at this position in the LCD, right? Similarly, the second half can be printed. This half for player 2, this half printing ball. This position of the ball is constantly being changed. Now we will see the collision detection mechanism. So if you see the paddle 1 is at position 3, both the half is at position 3. So if the ball also reaches that position 3, we check if the paddle is already there. We first update the values and check. If the paddle was already there, which means there is a collision. So the ball changes direction and player 1 scores a point. But if the paddle 1 was not there, which means he lost, so it's game over and player 2 will win. So using this code, the buzzer will sound 3 times and this green light will start blinking for 3 times. And then we'll go back to the start page where it will give instruction to press this button. Similarly, for position 15, where the second paddle is, we can do the same. This is updating the value, checking if collision, if there, then incrementing the point, and if it is not there, then it is game over and player 1 has won, and we will have the victory horn and the blinks. Now this is the movement mechanism of the game. So if direction is left, then you should move left, and we'll check if it has to move up or down and call the function left down or left up. If the direction is right, then it should move towards the right +1, and check if it has to move down or up. After that, this is the left down function. So this function will essentially give us an effect that the ball is moving towards left and down, so it moves like this diagonally. This will give an effect that the ball is moving left and up, which was called in the function. This one will give right and down, this one will give right and up, this one will give right and up. And after this, this is a piezo sound function which we have been using. This essentially takes an integer and which is milliseconds, and for this amount of time the buzzer will ring. Now since we have seen the code, this potentiometer is used for contrast change. Usually in this case it is optimal, so you don't need it, but if you are sitting in somewhere near very lighted area, so you might need to change. So let's start and see the program, how it runs. So ball bounce game, press start to begin. So player 1, player 2, 3-second countdown. Alright, I will play for 2 players at once. So yeah, see the ball is moving, I am moving the paddle up, it detects collision and iterates. Now let's move this paddle as well, bit down. I am playing for 2 players, and yeah, it iterates this as well. So now let's try to lose. Alright, and okay, I hope we don't hit the ball now. And yeah, we lost, and we have this annoying buzz and the green light is blinking, and we go back to the start position. So now let's see if we can actually create it in real life. So I have loaded the Arduino IDE with the same code, and let's build it and see if this works, right? So it's compiling, and once it compiles, you can create the same circuit in real life and use it and play it with your friends. So it compiled correctly without any errors, no warnings, and you can have fun using this. Thank you very much. I hope you had a great time. I had a great time. Thank you very much.